Hi, it's Aiden, or Fleming of the God here, and we're going to be doing the updated profile for my fluffal deck. I made a few changes to the main deck, a few to the extra deck, so we'll get right into it. For the main deck, we'll start off with the monsters. For the 3-ofs, we got 3 Fluffal Dog. It's basically the searcher for the deck. It searches out any Fluffal monster or Edgem Sabers. Then we run 3 Fluffal Dolphin. This card's just so good. I like 3 of it. You don't have to play 3, but I think 3 is a really good ratio. It just allows us to recycle not only our toy vendors, but our ritual spells as well. Or our fusion spells, sorry. Then we run 3 copies of Fluffal Bear. It sets toy vendor directly from the deck so they can't ash it. And it has a second effect, but you don't really use it for that. You usually just use it for the first one. We then run 3 copies of Fluffal Wings. It just allows you to draw cards in combination with toy vendor. And that's it for the 3-ofs for the Fluffal monsters. For the 2-of Fluffal monsters, we run 2 Fluffal Owl. It searches polymerization, and if you can't get a polymerization, you just pay 500 life to fusion summon. 2 copies of Penguin. It special summons a Fluffal, and if you use it for a fusion summon, you draw 2 cards and then discard 1. And its ability to special summon another Fluffal is not a hard once per turn, so you can use it more than once if you were to fuse it and then bring it back with something else, whether it be Cross Sheep, Monster Reborn, or anything. And that's it for the 2-ofs for the Fluffal monsters. For the 1-of, you run 1 Fluffal Sheep. You don't really need more. You just use it for the special summon, and then you can use its effect to bounce back another Fluffal to special summon an Edgem from your hand. We then run 1 Fluffal Cat. You don't need more than this. You just use it to get back a polymerization that's dead. And that's it for the Fluffal monsters. Now for the Edgem monsters, we run 3, 2, 1. So 3 copies of Chain. Hands down, the best Edgem monster in the entire deck. This card's just so good. He searches a Frightfur card upon destruction, or if he's sent, he searches a Frightfur card, and so you can search Frightfur Patchwork, and then Frightfur Patchwork can search him. If he attacks, you get to search out another copy of himself. We then run 2 copies of Edgem Scythe. It allows you to fusion summon on your opponent's turn, so we can actually make a first turn board if we have to go first. This just allows us to fuse on our opponent's turn, make a Cruel Whale if we need to, or make any card that we would need to use at that time to help us get further in that game. And then run the 1 copy of Edgem Sabers. You don't really need more. You don't usually use it all that much. You usually just use it to go into Sabertooth, or Tiger and Wolf. So just the 1. And that's it for the main deck monsters. So now we'll get into the spells. For the 3-ofs, 3 copies of Toy Vendor. You need 3 Toy Vendor. This card is just insane. You send a card from your hand to the grave, draw 1 card. If it's a Fluffal monster, special summon a Fluffal from your hand. If not, send it to the grave. And if it's popped, you search your deck for a Edgem Sabers or a Fluffal monster. So it's just a really good card. It helps with the consistency of the deck and being able to pull off combos. We then run 3 copies of Frightfur Patchwork. Frightfur Patchwork is just an insane card. It's a +2, or +1. It searches you out a Polymerization and an Edgem monster. So it's just a really good card for the deck. We then run our main fusion spell, 3 polymerization. It's the basic fusion spell. So yeah, if you don't know what polymerization does, then there's something wrong. We then run, for the 2 ofs, we run 2 Fright for Repair. It just allows us to recycle fusions that we might need back, whether it be Kraken, Tiger, or any of the other big dudes like Sabertooth, Wolf, Sheep, any of them. It's there if we need it. We then run 2 Fright for Fusion. It just allows us to fusion summon using monsters from our graveyard by banishing them from our graveyard and or field. You use this in combination with like Tiger to pop like your opponent's whole board, or Wolf to attack like a trillion times. We then run 2 copies of Called by the Grave, just because we don't want to get hand trapped. Getting hand trapped sucks, so we don't really want that to happen. And that's it for the 2 ofs. Now for the 1 ofs, we run 1 Fright for Factory. You don't usually need more than this. You just need the 1. And the last card in our main deck is 1 Monster Reborn. Just the Monster Reborn, any card that we would need back, whether it be a fusion or just another monster, fluffal or edgent monster to further our plays. Now comes the extra deck. The extra deck is pretty standard. There's a few new things in here and a few different cards that I like to play, but other than that, it's very simple. We run 3 Fright for Sabertooth. A lot of people run 2, but I like 3. Just being able to have that 3rd one there, it's just too good of a card, I believe, to run at 2. So I like the 3. I'm going for more of a pure fluffal build, so the 3's fine for me. And that's the only 3 of in the extra deck. We then run 2 Fright for Tiger. This thing just pops everything, man. It pops so much, and it boosts all of our Fright Furs, so we can just attack for like a trillion damage. We then got 2 copies of Fright for Cool Whale. I really like this card. This card's really cool. I would prefer to run it at like 1, and I take out the other one for another Kraken, but I don't have another Kraken right now, so I gotta try to get that. So until then, I'm playing the 2nd Cruel Whale. Now for the 1 ofs, we run 1 Kraken. Like I said, I only have the 1, but when I get my other one, I'm going to put it in there and take Cruel Whale out and run 1 Cruel Whale instead of the 2. This thing, Fright for Daredevil, it's a cool card. It burns people, and if you really need to, if time's getting close, you just summon this thing, then you summon in the whale, then you use the whale's effect to pop something your opponent controls, and then pop this, and then burn them so you can get them for game. You then run 1 Wolf. You don't need more than this. You don't usually summon him all that much. He's just there if you need him. And then run the 1 copy of Fright for Sheep, just because it comes back over and over most of the time, and it's just a really good card. I used to use this in combination with Instant Fusion, but I decided that I didn't really like the Instant Fusion, because if you had the Instant Fusion, but you already summoned this with normal fusion summoning, then it's dead, and so it's just not worth it. So I just took the Instant Fusion out. For the last fusion monster we run the 1 copy of Dangerous Fright for Nightmare. I don't go into this card all that much, but when I do, it's a pretty good card to go into. It's a little hard to make sometimes, since it requires 2 fluffal monsters instead of just the normal 1, but it's still a cool card. I keep it in at 1 nonetheless. Now for the Link monsters, we run very generic Link monsters. We run the one Cross Sheep to Monster Reborn, a monster when we fusion summon to its arrow, one Borload to take crap, and then for our big game ender, we run the one Boral Sword. It's a very simple combo to bring out the Boral Sword. What you do is you summon the Cross Sheep, you fuse to one of its zones, Cross Sheep effect to bring back the Penguin, then you use Penguin's effect to bring out another Fluffal, then you link this, the Penguin, and the other Fluffal, and then bam, you have a Boral Sword right there. So it's a pretty easy combo. The deck's really cool. It's very OTK based. You're gonna kill your opponent very fast. And it gains a lot of resources, and if they let the Fluffal start going, they'll keep going. Now, that's it for the extra deck. For the side deck's pretty simple. We run just a whole bunch of side cards that's pretty good against a whole bunch of different stuff. We got the 2 Ash Blossoms. I don't main Ash Blossom because I found that whenever I wouldn't be able to OTK my opponent, it was because I had this in my hand and I couldn't use it. So I just decided to put 2 in the side. I don't like 3 because I won't ever side in 3 because I think 3 is too cloggy. And like I said, every time I wasn't able to OTK, it's because I drew this card. So 2's fine. I don't like it out anymore. I don't like it out 1 either because then you don't see it enough. I think 2's the perfect ratio. We then run the 1 Edge Imp Saw. I don't really use this card, but it's there if you need the draw. But you don't really use it all that often. And then run the 2nd Edge Imp Sabers. I still need the Lost Art of this. I have a friend who's actually going to trade it to me, but I'm on vacation right now, so I can't exactly get it yet. But we run just the 2nd, just in case we need it. Usually don't, but it's there. I've sided this in a few times, but it's, like I said, it's just there if you need it. Another card that's just there if you need it, the Fluffal Penguin. I've sided this in quite a bit, just because sometimes you need that extra summon, and he's there for that. So, and then run the 3rd Owl, just to get more polymerizations or fusion summon if we really need to. The 3rd Scythe, it's just there if we need it. You usually don't, but if we do, by some odd off chance, do need the 2nd Scythe, or the 3rd Scythe, it is there. You then run the 2nd Sheep, just if we need more special summons, it's there if we need it. This works really good in combination with the 1 play that I told you, using the Cross Sheep and Boral Sword. Because then, since you control another Fluffal, you can special summon this, and then leave the Fluffal, or then fuse again using the Penguin to get its effect if you already did it, and still have enough materials to go into the Boral Sword. The next card on the side deck is we have 1 Fright for Leo to go with the 1 Edge Imp Saw that's in the side, just in case we want to summon it. He's really cool. He gets big. And then Fright for Chimera. This card, it means a lot to me. My friend got it for me. And so the sentimental value, and it's kind of like a good luck charm. And it's ulti, which is really pretty. It looks really pretty. Can't really see it on camera, but in person, it's a really pretty card. Then we run 1 Raigeki. We don't really need more. Like I don't really like Dark Hole because we have a walking Dark Hole, which is our Fright for Tiger. Or it's actually a walking Raigeki, so we don't really need this. But it's there if we need it, and we have it nonetheless. 1 Called by the Grave to... this is the 3rd one, just in case we need it. You usually don't, but again, a lot of these cards are just there if you do need it, or if you just need more stop power so that you can go off. It's there. 1 Twin Twisters. we got to get over Mystic Mine. So we have the 1 Twin Twisters, and we're usually drawing a lot, so we usually should be able to get this. One Fright for Fusion. It's just there. If we need this, you can put it in. I don't usually use this card all that often. I've sided it in once, but that's about it. And then this Fright for Jar, it's just there if you need it. I'm not a big fan of this card, but it's a cool card, but I'm not the biggest fan. It doesn't really do a whole lot, and you don't really run enough edge imps to make real use of it. But it's there just in case. I don't think I'll side it in, but I just needed a 15th card, so this will be that. And that was the Fluffal deck profile. If you have any suggestions for any tech cards or spice cards, or any suggestions to help make the deck not only more consistent but more competitive, just post a comment down in the comment section, and please comment, like, and subscribe. It really helps me out, and I hope you look forward to not only more Yu-Gi-Oh content, but for also more content for my game, Wars Among Us. I have a lot of videos planned, and I look forward to sharing those with you guys.